So, you don't think you have any broken props on your Tinyhawk? Well, you might be surprised. This weekend, I did a lot of flying in my Tinyhawk. I noticed some strange behaviors. Now, this first started when I was at a race a few weeks ago. I hit a wall pretty hard and a prop popped off. And I thought, okay, big deal, put it right back on and keep flying. But that prop then popped off again really easily in a minor crash. And so I set that prop aside. That is actually this prop right here. We'll talk more about this prop in a minute. So then this weekend, I set up a pretty cool race course in a friend's basement with a bunch of light rope and light up gates that I'd built. We're flying around, crashed pretty hard, and another prop popped off. Now what's funny is I've popped off two props and they're both rear props. You'd think the front ones would go first, right? Well, it was the rear ones. I put that prop back on, continued to fly, and the whole time I was flying, I was hearing this really strange grinding, rumbling noise like something was really wrong with the motor or something. I wasn't sure, so I flew it back to me. It flew okay, and that prop fell off when I landed. So I thought, what is going on? You know, you hear all these stories of nobody breaking any props on the Tinyhawk. And while it's true, people aren't breaking props in the normal sense. They're not breaking the blades. What people don't realize is they're actually breaking the center, the hub part. So the prop that was rumbling and then just fell off is this one right here. This is the prop that was causing me troubles over the weekend. The blades all looked totally fine. It actually flew all right, but the prop would just fall off. Then I started looking at it more closely and I noticed this right here and along here. When I pull it, it actually spreads apart. This part cracked clear through all the way up here. And I started looking more closely, and I don't know if you can see it on the video or not, but the hub, let's see here. The hub is actually cracked right along here. It's broken apart, and then the crack also appears over here. So everything from here to the center shaft of the motor is cracked. So it can't hold on tightly to the shaft of the motor, and it can't hold on to the bell of the motor. There, you can see the crack that's right there, and then the crack down the side. So then I thought, oh, I wonder if that's happened before. So I went and I looked at the prop from the race that was giving me trouble. And sure enough, it's cracked right here. And so it can't hold onto the shaft tightly. Looking at the outside, none of the outside of the hub is cracked, but it is cracked right there. So it's probably good that I took this prop off, put on a new one, because then I didn't have any more trouble while flying at the race. If you look at this hub, it's going to be hard to see, but it's actually cracked right along here to the part where it goes up to the shaft. This prop is just starting to go back. Oh, I actually see more cracks down here. So there's a crack there, there's a crack here, there's a crack here. There's several cracks from the center shaft. So now, let's look at this one. Yeah, looking really closely at this one, it's got the crack right here from the center. But then, over on this side, it's got a crack running halfway down. So if that crack continues all the way down, then this prop is going to just fall off like the other one did this last weekend. There are mold lines. The mold lines for the prop are not cracks. They kind of look like them. I have my doubts that you're going to be able to see it on the camera, but there is a crack running right along there. Now, looking at the other two, there is a crack starting to form right along here. Up top, no crack. This one is very minor, so this prop looks fine for a while. This prop, let's look around the outside. Outside all looks good, and there is a little tiny crack starting to form from the center out up here. These props are actually kind of sensitive to breaking. They just break in a way that you don't notice, and then they'll fall off. If you're going to do a race, you probably want to put fresh props on if you have any cracks. If the cracks are small enough, you might get away with it, but if you crash hard, probably going to lose the prop. If you're just flying for fun, yeah, stick the prop back on until it falls off really easily, like this guy that's broken apart. Can't fly with that one anymore, it just falls off. But if the crack's not as bad as that one, then you can go ahead and keep flying. Now you know how to see if your props are starting to break, or if they might fall off at a time when you don't want them to, and you can replace them. If this video was helpful to you, please like and subscribe. I'm working on a bunch more. I'll get them out there as soon as I can get them done. Thanks.